In this session, we're going to have a look at what you need to set up your Raspberry Pi. What I've got here is a Raspberry Pi 2 from Elements 14. I'll put the link underneath the comments to where you can actually purchase one of these in Australia. They're very efficient at getting them to you, and also they're very reasonably priced. When you order a Raspberry Pi 2, they normally come as a board. They'll come in an anti-static bag, so just take them out of the anti-static bag, and this is what you find. It's much the same as the Raspberry Pi B+, but what we now have is a quad-core CPU, and you also notice there is a bit of a change underneath the board. You can see the CPU architecture under there as well. Still uses the micro SD slot once again. It also has a new power sort of section that actually gives you full voltage to the 4 USB ports on the front, much the same as the B+. Also, the network has a orange or yellow and green lights as well for activity. This is also responded down with a couple of LEDs down here where you'll see a red one for power and a green one for activity. It uses the full HDMI face as well, and an audio jack that you can actually set with the operating system to use that rather than sending it out through the HDMI slot. So not much else has changed from the B+ to the Raspberry Pi 2, but it is a faster sort of board. Some of you may actually order them with a case. So this is a Raspberry Pi B+ in its case, and you'll actually notice that the case is actually quite a good case. If you've got access to a 3D printer, you can actually print your own case, but one of the things I would recommend is actually having access to the pins. These GPIO pins are really, you want to be able to connect those to them, especially if you've got an Arduino board or something like that you would like to use. So I suggest that if you do some modifications to the cases, that'll actually help you as well. But you can actually put some 40-pin covers on as well to hold some cables. Another thing I would suggest getting with your Raspberry Pi, I would recommend that you buy a Wi-Fi card. These you can buy from MSI, etc. They're around the $10 sort of mark. The EDI Max ones are quite a good wireless NIC. It's a nano USB adapter. It works both with B, G and N, so it gives you good data transfer, and they're very, very small with their footprint. As you can tell, there's one still in the box, and this is the one that I use generally. So they're very, very small. They don't interfere with any of the keyboard mice that you plug in, have a very small footprint, so I normally put it down the bottom so I can use other external USBs, etc. in the Raspberry Pi 2. So having a Wi-Fi NIC is very, very useful. Another thing I would recommend getting is a network lead. So using something like a 50 centimeter, I've got a Cat 6E cable here. This will allow you to link it to your computer, and you'll be able to use something like Type VNC or SSH into your Raspberry Pi 2 to actually control it with a computer. One of the most important things you need to get is a micro SD card. Now the micro SD cards come in different sizes. You can get them in 4, 8, 16 gig. I recommend that you just get a standard 8 gig card, or even a 4 will be fine for what we're doing. It uses the micro SD, so you're going to need the little adapter to put it into a computer, or have a USB micro SD adapter so you can plug it into a computer. This will allow you then to back it up and then ISO the image to put back on there in case you want to go back to a start build. The micro SD cards come in different classes. They come in 4, 6, class 10. I recommend that you get a class 10 card, because this way you've got the fastest data access and data transfer that you can possibly get, where a 4 is the slowest. So somewhere between 4 and 10 would be really good. I recommend if you can get the 10s, get the 10s. So with this little setup here, you'll be right to go. All you need then is an external monitor and keyboard and mouse to set it up, and then you can use a secondary computer to control it from there on out. So I hope you found this useful, and these are the tools that I use. And visit some other tutorials later to look at what operating system to place onto your Raspberry Pi.